What's up, guys? Let's get a rant in. Man's law versus natural law, or God's law. What's the difference? This side is my kick with a spin. This side is the real deal, what I study, what I can't stand, what we are all still subject to this day, how the earth is really still ran tyrannically. I don't understand. Have you ever heard of UNUM SANCTUM? I don't know if you have. Pope Boniface, go all the way back. Let's go back towards the 1400s. What happened on the earth to where man decided man could claim dominion over other man? All the living men and women, all the souls, all the land, all the property, everything, the whole earth. Something happened to where all roads lead to Rome. The Roman Catholic Church and the Pope decided that they were going to create something called Unum Sanctum, which was the world's first expressed trust. And I don't think it was the world's first expressed trust for obvious reasons when it comes to things like scripture, and there's nothing new under the sun. So basically there was a cataclysmic event, a man-made cataclysmic event, some type of conquering or some opportunity for the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope to take advantage over whatever happened on the earth or whatever they did, and they claimed everything. They claimed the earth. You don't believe me? Look it up. Look up what the original papal bulls were, the original expressed documents that still rule man today. And that all of us with birth certificates, we still fall under this. What is Unum Sanctum? The original express trust. What is the Triple Crown? Look it up. Look at your dates and look at your popes. Romanus Pontifex. I don't know how to say this. Attorney Regis. Regis, what do you see there? I see register. I see registry. I see registration. Where does all this stuff come from? Convocation. Are you in the big Catholic circuit? Did you get baptized? Did you get a baptism certificate? Does your church that's in the big Catholic circuit still have your baptism certificate, or did it end up at the Vatican? And why would it end up at the Vatican? How does that work? Why do they need to have expressed claim over your soul? It's interesting stuff, but it breeds nothing but crap. Man's law is not God's law. It's not scripture. It's not. It's man's law and man's misrepresentation, misinterpretation of scripture, or just natural law, which is also scripture in the form of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I'll say that because, say this, here's a G. G, for example, that is a symbol, okay? You have light and a lack thereof. Where the black is, there's a lack of light. Where the white is, there is light. So what you're experiencing is frequency. The spoken word is also vibration. God spoke things into existence. A lot of times, most people don't understand that there's a physical and metaphysical reference to most types of text when it comes to scriptures and religions. And so I tend to lean towards my skill set, which is energy, frequency, and vibration under natural law, which is basically understanding creation, Fibonacci sequence, golden ratio, God's favorite number, that kind of stuff, etc. I like the physics side of things, which leads me into the metaphysics, as opposed to just strictly scripture, which I wasn't raised in. But, that's your thing. Great, awesome. Here we go. Again, you have natural law and man's law. Man's law is this random claim of ownership. What did they do right after they claimed all the lands, all the people, all this and that? What it turned into was they were taking control of all the ancient and old world power systems. The old world was using the Earth's energy. The Earth is an enclosed system. Imagine it's its own vessel in a sea of space, if you will. A vessel in a sea of space. Earth is its own closed system. It has the two great luminaries. You can read Book of Enoch if you want. Sun and the moon. Think the yin-yang symbol. You have the sun and the moon, the two great luminaries, a positive and a negative, an anode and a cathode, and your water is your electrolyte. The South Pole, the Antarctic ice wall. You have the North Pole in the center, Polaris in the top. When you understand the true cosmology of the earth, you'll understand what they did shortly after this and how the ancients, before they did this, really powered themselves in the earth. You'll start looking into star forts. The Statue of Liberty sits on top of a star fort. Do you even know what a star fort is? Star forts are also known as bastion forts, also known as Vauban-style forts. French Vauban style forts. I don't think they were for what they say they are for. I think they're all about cymatics. Star forts are all about cymatics. If you don't know what that is, we'll get into it in a minute. But man's law led us into power grids, led into man controlling all the most beautiful and resourceful lands. You have state lands, national parks, dams, which is one of the biggest things. We have this massive Hoover Dam in the United States. We have the Niagara Falls. You have the Tennessee Valley Authority. What they're doing is they're taking your natural resources from you. That's all they're doing. The power grids and the electrical wires and the dams and the national parks and the state lands, what they've done is man has claimed it, which is, to me, shit made up, because history is written by the victors. And I don't just believe that you can just claim it and write it down and then it's set in stone and that's that. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. The Pope isn't God to me, so I'm not going to follow that. Now, what I do understand, though, is that they do have statutory ownership over all this stuff. And all this stuff is where all of the best energy sources on Earth are. If you understand how the Earth works again, you'll understand why they have control of this stuff. When they have control of that, you are reliant on them for your energy. Okay? When you understand natural law and energy frequency and vibration, you can charge and ingest less food. You can charge via sunlight, your bare feet on the ground, and living flowing water, primary water. You can charge etherically. There's all types of things you can do to get free, clean, and limitless energy. Not just mentioning, of course, we can grow our food by regenerating soil in many different ways that have been taken from us. Grow our food using electroculture, using etherical energy, using cymatics to increase our food production. It's not just about food production, because I think the ancient times, people relied more on light and water for energy, maybe even completely. I'm talking long ago. We're talking fruitarians to breatharians. Yes, that sounds crazy. Look into it if you don't know what it is. Sounds crazy? Look into it. I've talked to people that are semi-breatharians. All right, so under man's law, when you claim all that, you have the power grids, you have the roadways and the electrical wires. That is their circuit board. That's their circuit board with their buildings or their plugs on their circuit boards. And you probably work in a building and support their circuit board. You help them enforce all of their circuits, and you're the Gestapo with your little government job. No offense to anybody. I've been part of the same system my whole life as well, but now I understand it, and I don't like it. I don't like what I see and understand. So that circuit board, you're in a plug, your job, whatever you do, and basically you're helping them keep the power, keep all the power from the people. You're just helping them keep control of the power. When I say it's them. It's not you, and I'll prove it to you that it's not you. All right, so what happens in these systems? You have law enforcement, code enforcement, teachers, doctors, lawyers. Here's your parameters. This is what you follow. You follow this, or we bring you up on charges. Okay? Don't disrupt their circuit. Man's law has its own electrical circuit. They took control of the energy of the earth, and you rely on them for energy because you are their slave. This, man's law, wants you to be a debt slave. Really an energy debt slave. When you understand what energy and currency and how they go, they are one and the same. Cash flow, liquidate, river, banks on both sides of the river, banks. Once you start understanding all these words interchanging, you're going to start really understanding what's happened here. And so you have their circuit board, and you may be a disruptor. Say you injured their potential energy, which would be one of their owned people, one of their own citizens as a birth certificate, their property. Say you damage their property, another citizen, that's potential energy for them. That's 75 years of working and taxes and things you don't even know about, like bonds and being bonded and insured and traded publicly on a stock exchange, which people don't even know about. So the better of a little citizen you are, the more valuable you are. But if someone damages one of their little stores of value, which is a citizen or a person, if someone damages them, that's no good. They're mad. They're going to bring you up on charges in their courts. Courts. Interesting. I just caught that, by the way. Courts. There may be a correlation, probably not. But anyways, they're going to bring you up on charges because you disrupted their circuit board. Don't disrupt their circuit board, and you can live a more self-sufficient, clean, free, energetic life, and you can live more in terms of natural law and God's law and not have to rely on them, and slowly, step by step, exit the matrix, and maybe even help society and man for the future. Because right now, we're on a downward spiral. It starts here with the claim of the ownership, turns into the claim of the energy, turns into the surveillance state in the courts and the debtors' prisons, turns into the IoT, what's that? The Internet of Things, smart everything, LEDs everywhere, pinging Wi-Fi everywhere. LEDs, digital light, digital frequency. It's damaging, burning the back of our retinas, keeping us down, keeping us chaotic, keeping us less powerful. This ruins your charge. Sorry, my bells. I love that. It's really windy today. But I love that resonance. We'll get into that. These LEDs, there's something else going on. It's a nefarious purpose why the LEDs are being forced and pushed upon us, okay? These LEDs are a slow bleed. They keep you down, just like many other chemicals and systems, okay? There's nothing new under the sun. How did they get everybody to follow this way back in the day, all the way back in the 1300s? Religion, alchemy, okay? It's basically an original psyop. There's nothing new under the sun, but that's an original psyop. Manipulation, psychology, basic psychology, probably because they had the ability, say there was an event and all the history was removed from the earth, or they conquered a bunch of places and they repopulated cities with orphans, things like that, orphan trains, incubator babies, looking at this stuff, orphan trains, say they repopulate these cities. What they can then do is they can create the new historical narrative, and they know science, and they remove your understanding of natural law and energy and frequency and vibration. So when they raise all these repopulated new cities, they raise them to be dependent on this. And there's no such thing as this out in nature, free, clean, and limitless. It doesn't exist, okay? And so then you're surveilled, and all man's law really breeds is energy vampires, parasites, and man acting like gods. When I say acting like gods, it's just like any Marvel movie. I don't know, imagine you have a Marvel character or some sort of sci-fi movie, and they have an egg, and they have all this power that they took from the earth, and they concentrated it into this egg, and they're going to take it, and they're going to have all that power to themselves, and the earth ends up being cold and dark and dry. I don't believe that's going to happen. I do think that they are acting like gods, trying to keep as much energy and charge and capacitance to themselves. Hence, emerald minds, think Elon Musk's dad, and the emerald minds understand the technocrats and semiconductors and crystals and all that stuff. Understand data, understand crystals, understand power, understand capacitance of that stuff, but also understand they're just acting like gods. They're literally stealing the earth's energy, God's creation, nature, Mother Nature. They're stealing the earth's energy and acting like gods. They think they're gods because they have this energy, but that energy doesn't belong to them. It comes from here. It doesn't come from here, okay? So I cannot stand this section, and this is why we are screwed. This is why we are gluttons. This is why we have parasites, because we have to ingest so much freaking food, because we have no energy, because we wear rubber-soled shoes. We're not getting free electrons from the ground. We're not getting free electrons from clean, structured, flowing, electrified water from star forts and flowing primary water sources and aquifers and streams and springs, because they own it all. They have the energy. We don't have the free energy. We don't get the sunlight. They trick us into putting sunglasses on. And then what happens? Our body doesn't absorb the vitamin D. Our body doesn't handle that UV light. And then we get skin cancer. And we lather up with chemicals and we bake them into our skin with sunglasses on. What we have to do is reconnect with nature and understand what they took from us and what they brainwashed and indoctrinated out of us to get us dependent on them for energy. We even drink energy drinks to try and trick our brain into thinking we have energy when we really don't have any cellular energy. We're just alchemically using alchemy to trick our brains to think we have energy because we don't have it. And we don't have it because it's over here and they control it. They took it from us, all right? We are becoming fat and gluttons because we are mineral deficient. We are mineral deficient and we don't have the energy. We don't have the energy because we don't understand natural law and energy and frequency and vibration. All right, that's the dark crap. Man's law breeds energy vampires, parasites, and man acting like gods. It's bull crap. It's, I'm going to say shit made up. SMU, David Straight, shit made up. If you're a fan of him or not, whatever. Natural law. All right, natural law to me is energy, frequency, and vibration. I think the earth has a natural order already in place. I think the natural order is already here. I think Scripture is a great representation of it in many different types of scriptures and many different types of religions. Whichever one you think to be true, a lot of times there's a lot of good energy, physical versus metaphysical. There's phenomenal physical representations within your Scripture. You got to understand, everything is a resonance, okay? The spoken word, that's a vibration. We have to understand what symbols are, what letters are on a page. What are we doing? What are we looking at? We're experiencing a frequency of light. L. There is light and a lack thereof where the L is, okay? Understand energy, frequency, and vibration. 432 hertz. We've gone over this before. All of our music, they tuned it to 440, just like the LEDs. They want to take our power away. If we are always listening to 432 hertz and it is energizing us and we are resonating with the natural resonance of nature and the earth, we are going to be charged and require less energy. We are more self-sufficient when we are tuned to this and not this, which is Nazi infiltration. Think Operation Paperclip. LEDs are no different than the original music infiltration, okay? All of our instruments are tuned to that. It's slightly acidic. It brings us down compared to this, if you understand. Sorry. 432 hertz, 528 is energizing as well. This is peaceful, loving, harmonious, healing. 528 is energizing. There's endless frequencies, okay? There's just as many good frequencies as there are bad frequencies. But this is what all our music's tuned to. This is what they're making us look at instead of this beautiful sun going down, the sunset that I get to see, okay? Without sunglasses on, by the way. All right. When it comes to natural law and energy, frequency, and vibration, and I'm going to go through the land, the air, and the water. Law, land, air, and water could be an acronym. If you believe in that or not, it's up to you. I went all the way back to here to understand where the origins of our law that we go by today, even back to the Magna Carta, Charter of the Forest, all that. Look into it. It's kind of cool stuff. But let's start with the land, starting with soil. What did they take from us? The rain used to hit the mountaintops, go down, structure through the mountains, mineralize as it's going down the mountains, and it would flow out into the valleys where we would grow food. And that food would be from after silty floods. This mud would come through the valleys, and that's where we would grow our food because we had all the minerals from the distilled water in the mountaintops, and that created the crazy good soil that we grew our food in. And then the plants would metabolize all those minerals, and that food from that source was extremely energizing. You require less. It makes you healthier. You resonate at a frequency that's closer to nature that we are designed to resonate at, okay? So regenerating our soil from the rain that came from the mountaintops and the valleys, flooding was good, but they fixed that for us, right? Man's law fixed that for us. We have things like the TVA and the Hoover Dam and Niagara Falls. They're going to redirect all those awesome, perfect rainwater sources where we used to grow food, and they take control of them and they remove that from you. We don't have quality soil anymore. When they turned this electrical grid on, when they turned the electrical power grid on a long time ago, we stopped burning trees. What are trees? Trees have these deep roots that do nothing but pull minerals up. What do you think grows these massive trees, massive oaks I'm looking at? They're massive mineral deposits. We used to burn that wood, and that ash is what our ancestors and even our great-grandparents used to throw in their food beds, in their gardens, to grow their food. And the ash from those trees had the minerals that the plants would metabolize that we would then eat to charge us. We were so much more healthy, so much more energized. We were thinner, we were healthier, we could fight off disease. There was no disease. There was no EMF. There was no electromagnetic frequency hardly at all that we had to worry about. People were healthy because of the soil. So we have to understand how important the land is and the soil jurisdiction, regenerating the soil, minerals, the mining industry. We don't know how valuable quartz really is. I think quartz, and you can get into this if you want to, I think quartz is nothing more than petrified tissue of all types of old living organisms, biology. Old biology, ancient biology, petrified biology is what quartz is. Whether it's an eyeball, to skin, to a heart of some sort of creature, to a plant, to a tree, to ancient tree sap, whatever it is, ancient tree sap, anything, when it solidifies, it's usually turning into some type of quartz, or even metallurgy gets into this too. You know, you're going to figure out some crazy stuff with minerals and mining and quartz in the old world. And really what when we go mining for metals and things, and like the gold rush in California, these weren't necessarily what you think they were. History is a lie. I'm not going to get all into that, but just understand that I'm one of those weirdos that understands that quartz isn't exactly what you think it is. Google image a kidney stone, a calcium kidney stone, and look at the pictures of those suckers cut in half. They look exactly like geodes. There's way more to what I just told you than that. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? And look up Devil's Tower and ancient trees too. Look into that. So we got to understand the land. These are different frequencies. So communication, energy, frequency, and vibration works differently on the land, the air, and the water. That's why we had different jurisdictions and legal code and terminology, because frequencies get sent through the land and soil. Light frequencies get sent through the land and soil, minerals, differently than they do the air, etherically, different than they do the water. Light going through water, or frequency going through water, is different than air. Yet they all coincide and work together and can resonate in a perfect system. The true cosmology of the Earth, sun and moon, yin yang symbol, anode, cathode, north pole in the middle, south pole around the outside, Polaris, etc. When you understand the Earth's cosmology and that powerful, regenerating, never-ending battery source and energy source, you're going to understand how important it is to understand what we have for energy and what they took. We have etherical energy all around us at all times. Look up electroculture. If we understood the air and the ether, we would understand electroculture, growing our plants with simple copper wires. Copper wire, coil, copper wire going up on the same coil into an antenna can grow your plants faster, harder, stronger, healthier. Things like understanding moon harvests. I've got a little extra credit on the back, moonwood. Hold on for that. But we can grow food understanding the energy, frequency, and vibration of the land and the air and the water. Think of aquaponics, etc. Think of cymatics. If you know what cymatics are, I would hope if you're listening to me and I've been listening this long, you know what cymatics really are. Cymatics is us creating a specific frequency, and when introduced to water, say you have a cup of water, you say, I love you, I love you, I love you. This is very rehearsed, by the way. Everybody knows this that knows cymatics. I love you, I love you, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you. You freeze that water. It's going to have a beautiful crystalline structure. If I freeze water after saying, screw you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I want you to die, and you freeze that crystalline structure of this water is not going to look the same as this one. And understand the capacitance and the electrical charge of this one. This one is living, this one is dead, okay? Understand what living water is. They have removed living water from all of our textbooks and all of our learning. And they have removed us understanding what the mandalas are on the front of these mega churches, okay? That ties into cymatics. Cymatics go hand in hand with those mega mandalas on the front of those Catholic churches and those cathedrals. Understand what they are. Look into it. Understand the organs, the mega organs in those churches. Hint, it's not for playing music. I've gone over this before. We'll get into that in other videos. Flow. Why did I write flow? Standing in flowing water, if you have a creek, okay, or a river that's squished, imagine that's like a power line. Power lines have increased capacitance. The tighter it is, okay, the smaller the space. When you have this creek of flowing structured water, the faster it flows and the harder it flows, the more electron giving it is, all right? So when you get into that flowing water, it's living, electron giving flowing water, you literally charge in clean structured primary or flow, any type of flowing water. But if you're in a dead stagnant pond, it could steal energy from you. A dead stagnant pond is literally electron stealing. So understand how important water is, when we could have even included cymatics and structured water to plants. The water in the plants and the water in our food, if we structure the water and play pretty music and pray over our food, When you pray over food, that's the spoken word. Say it's gospel scripture if that's what you're into. When you pray over your food, or you say beautiful things into your food, or you play beautiful frequencies over your food, which has water in it, you have just created cymatics, which is a healing and energizing system. It's a naturally resonant system that matches Mother Nature and natural law in the form of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what praying over food is. That's what gospel is. That's what this singing, that's the whole point of this. It's to get the cymatics of the fluids, the water and the blood in your system crystallizing properly. Or not necessarily crystallizing, but getting the shape and the frequency proper inside your body that you're supposed to resonate at, because you're tuning for it, all right? We need to understand what electrolytes are in a battery too. So again, just to be quick, sun and moon. Sun and moon, positive, negative, anode, cathode, possibly electrolyte, water down beneath. You have two flagpoles in front of an old mega cathedral. Possibly anode, cathode, fountain right behind it, always in front, always perfect geometry. Possible electrolyte, possible battery system, wireless power induction. You've got to understand the old world. What did they take from us and they gave us this? They took all this beautiful stuff from us and they gave us this, and we have to follow that. And we're subject to their tyranny, and everything is turned into shit. And we don't know why. We don't understand why. It's because of this. It's because we're following that and not this. We're following man's law, not natural law. So once you start doing this, you understand the land, the air, and the water, and you start to really ground and resonate. My feet are bare right now. I got bare feet right now. You're on the ground, barefoot on the ground. You are going to start resonating with the earth, and you're going to understand what is divine and what is more beautiful. You will literally act different the more you walk barefoot. You're going to heal. Your inflammation will decrease. All types of good things, because it's electron giving, and you are now resonating with the earth, and your torus field is one with the earth, just like a tree torus field, all right? Understand what you're doing when you're putting your bare feet on the ground, and understanding what you're doing when you're wearing plastic clothes and putting rubber-soled shoes on for long periods of time. It's electron stealing, okay? Understand what we're doing. Become a divine healing body. What I mean by that is you're here to be a tuning fork. You're a tuning fork. Whenever you were born, whatever your zodiac sign is, your prenatal chart, you have a specific tune that you're supposed to be here and resonate with. And nature is designed for you to resonate with it. So you're a tuning fork and you show up. And you need to resonate and match your terrain, because Mother Nature is the true terrain. The creation is our terrain. We're divine heavenly bodies. And when we show up, we need to vibrate in a manner that resonates and it doesn't create something we call dis-ease. That is the natural order. That is natural law. If you show up somewhere and things start dying, something's wrong. You have to figure out, either you could remove yourself, you can remove something. You have to figure out what you're doing wrong. If you're doing something that's creating dis-ease in the world or the terrain around you, then that's what you need to fix. You are not vibrating in a divine manner, okay? You're doing something like this. You're becoming this. You don't have the energy, or you're off, or you're at a frequency that's very negative. You're at a frequency that is actually not healing, maybe even killing. Rock and roll music kills a lot of plants. Rock and roll kills a lot of plants. Divine, say, old world pianos and classical music will make plants grow and heal. Be a tuning fork to this world. Be a divine heavenly body. Charge, take all of the free energy the earth has to offer without disrupting their grid system. When you disrupt their circuit and their system, they've got you surveilled, and they're going to be watching you, and they're going to try to bring you up on charges and take you away so you don't teach other people this stuff, okay? Don't disrupt their energy circuit and their system. If you do that, you're making a mistake. You can step out quietly, okay? Don't be a disruptor. You can do things and stay off of their radar and start easing your way out of the matrix. It's not an event. It's a process. Don't do it cold turkey. It's very dangerous. You get yourself caught. You get yourself hurt. You get Herxheimer reaction from detoxing too quick, all types of stuff. But there's endless stuff we can talk about. But this is my long rant on man's law, which I call shit made up, which we're all stuck under that tyranny, and then natural law. And the laws of energy, frequency, and vibration. I could underline this 100 times and never be tired of underlining it. Study points. I just learned about primary water like a month ago. It's amazing. I can't stop talking about it or thinking about it, understanding it. Understand the old Native Americans that they used to pay to find the primary water, the water that comes deep within the earth. There's an ocean underneath of our ocean. I know you don't know about that stuff. Look up primary water. It's amazing. We're never, ever, ever running out of water. All of the elites know where all the primary water is. You can even buy your own dowsing rods and try to go closer to primary water on different lands. Find it, understand it. Maybe claim it for yourself. Tap into it. A deep, deep, deep well. Understand primary water. Provide for yourself. Primary water really is the life source of the earth. It's one of them. It plays a huge role, and we need to understand it. Grounding, I've mentioned it way too many times already. It's electron giving. You are connecting with the earth's resonance. It's really hard to be a crappy person when you're always grounding, when you're always bare feet on the ground, literal ground, good ground, not crappy ground, not pavement, not just dead clay that was shipped in, that's long dead and doesn't have any charge hardly. Real ground, natural ground. More natural the better. High frequency foods. What is H3O2? I think the best water on earth is in fruit. And when I say it's in fruit, the best water on earth is in fruit because the water gets pulled through the roots, pulled up the tree trunk, all pulled through, pushed out the branches and into this fruit where it sits in a divine structure. We have star fruit out here. A star, a literal star, which remember star forts and cymatics, the water in that star is literally vibrating and resonating in there, and it holds that frequency. That's a high frequency, and it's getting charged in the sun on that tree, and it's offered freely with no karmic debt. And I eat that and I spit the seeds out somewhere else and I grow another tree. Okay? So high frequency foods, high frequency water. What is the fourth phase of water? Have you ever heard of that? The fourth phase of water. Look up H3O2 and the fourth phase of water. I prefer to get most of my water from fruit and vegetables, but again, vegetables are more for the minerals. We want those plants and vegetables to be metabolizing quality minerals. Growing food in your yard, if it's in crap soil, is not that important. Growing that crap food, they're empty. It's better than the store. Way better than the store, of course. Becoming self-sufficient is amazing. But understand, the soil is everything. And those vegetables are for the minerals, man. The fruit is easier on your gut. Your body wants the fruit more. It's easier to digest. This mineral content, that's high frequency as well. So when those are metabolizing all the quality minerals that you put into your soil, that you gave back to the earth, that's when you get rewarded. Nuts and seeds, you need your fats. We're not going to get into common health stuff, but nothing pasteurized. Okay, dairies need to be raw dairies, raw eggs. Get your chickens eating that. How does a chicken eat some bugs and some feed with very low calcium in it and shoot out an egg that's crazy amounts of calcium? It literally transmutes and generates calcium out of nothing. It creates calcium. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Waking Up with Analog, Ben said that. He was mind blown, and it blew my mind too. It's like, holy crap. They don't take in anywhere near the amount of calcium that they shoot out. Therefore, chickens are literal calcium creators. Really think about that. They are creators. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's neat. All right, other than high frequency foods and getting healthy so we are vibrating at a higher level, crystals. We need to understand crystals. Salt is a crystal. Potassium is a crystal. Sugar is a crystal. Ever heard of the sodium-potassium pump? Sodium-potassium pump for cellular energy. What is salt and potassium? What is sugar? These are crystals. They're all forms of crystals. We have the sodium-potassium pump. These are electrolytes. Electric light. Okay, what is piezoelectricity? What does quartz have? Crystals. Think quartz. Quartz has a piezoelectric charge. We need to understand what piezoelectricity is. This is free, clean, and limitless energy. We've got to understand it and understand what electrolytes are. Do these crystals have light in them? Do they hold a charge? Are we sending electric light through our body, electrolytes, when we drink this stuff? Are we drinking little crystals? I don't know. You tell me. Look into it. Understand piezoelectricity and crystals. I never thought I was going to be a tree-hugging, crystal-loving hippie, but I absolutely am because I understand it inside and out now. Light and sound are one and the same. Tesla said light can be nothing more than a sound vibration in the ether. Okay? The reason I put that there is because we need to understand that Light and sound are one and the same. Magnetism and electromagnetism and the dielectric, all that hard physics stuff that gets kind of advanced is really not that advanced if you think about what you had to do in high school to indoctrinate yourself away from this stuff. This is so much easier, okay? Sound is a vibration. You increase the capacitance, a laser light is also a vibration. Look it up. Think peaks and troughs, ones and zeros, all that stuff. We don't need to get into ones and zeros and all the technology yet, but we do need to understand that that light is not digital light. The light that's shining on me that's probably messed up the way I look this whole video, that light is the light we need, especially the last 15 to 20 minutes of the day. You need to see that in the evening go down, and you need to see that in the morning when it comes up. That's the light we want. That's the light that charges us. That's the light that creates life. Sounds are the same. They're just a bigger, slower wave, okay? It's just a different frequency. Light and sound are both frequency, all right? We need to understand magnetism. Go to YouTube channel, Theoria Apophysis. Please ignore his personality. He gets a little awkward at times, but he has the best information on physics and magnetism for anybody that wants to learn about physics, the physics and laws of magnetism and how it really works. His name is Ken Wheeler. He's amazing. I thank him very much. He doesn't believe in the cosmology of the earth the way I do, but he did teach me magnetism, and he did solidify everything I do believe. That's my long rant. Extra credit was moon wood. Why would you harvest wood on a full moon? Why would you harvest your plants on a full moon? What happens to us on a full moon when we go out? Everything is heightened on the full moon. Why? What is moonwood? Look it up. Get back to me. I just learned what primary water and moonwood was like a month ago. I love it. It makes way too much sense, all right? So look up primary water and moonwood for me. That's your extra credit stuff, of course, with all this stuff. But man's law, natural law all day long. That's garbage. That's shit made up. That's shit made up. Breeds nothing but energy vampires, parasites, and man acting like gods. Let's be tuning forks. Let's be energy givers and healers. Let's show up as a tuning fork and heal our family and friends. Heal everybody. Be divine heavenly bodies like we were supposed to be. All right. Thanks. That's it. Peace.